Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest this segment is David Posner. He's the CEO of Nutritional High, trading on the CNSX under the symbol
EAT.
EAT! God, I love that symbol. That's amazing. David, thanks for coming back.
Do you know what our OTC symbol is?
What's your OTC symbol?
Spliff.
So, now,
it had to be 5 letters and end with an F, so what
but
better?
Who eats a spliff?
That's a good call.
And Nutritional High is all about edibles. We first talked 3 years ago, the day after your IPO.
Correct.
And so obviously you've been fighting the good fight and have made a lot of progress. Give us an overview of the 3-year story arc of what has Nutritional High become.
Well, when Nutritional High started, I mean, our whole thing was we wanted to be in the edible market. But the base of all our products is the oil. So we kind of started with the oil. We wanted to baseline the oil. And we have a different technique in making our oil. And we started in Colorado. We have a facility in Washington, Oregon. We have a dispensary in Illinois.
Right.
And we really focused our attention on going into the California market. We also did a deal with Canada Health Wellness in Canada.
Yep.
And what we're going to do with them is we're only partnering with them on the oil side. So the oils and the edibles. And I mean, right now, they haven't come out with the legalities of the edibles, but on an oil side. So we're partnering with them, and we're just applying now for the oil license. Like, they have their cultivation license, and we found they were great partners, and you know.
So is the future of Nutritional High's success all in the U.S.?
It's not all. I mean, what Canada gave us was the ability to, obviously, and being Canadian, we wanted to be in the Canadian market, but it also gives us the capacity to export.
Right.
In the U.S., it's a state-by-state process, and you can't cross state lines. So Canada gave us that ability to go potentially to Germany, or Portugal now is legal, Greece, and it's expanding. In the European market's a very interesting market. Like, even Germany, I believe, has 86 million people. So when you look at it compared to even Canada, and they have medical marijuana now, but a big part of it is actually covered by the government. So it's an interesting play, and as you've seen, some of the Cannabis has bought one of the distribution licenses, Aurora's bought another one, and so there's been a lot of interest on that side, and it's going to evolve. But we really felt the U.S. market, especially California, and we're putting a lot of our resources into California. The first thing we did was we want to have the distribution, so we bought a company called Calyx, and they were the second biggest distributor in California, and it
distributor of cannabis products?
Distributor of cannabis to the dispensaries.
Oh, okay.
So, when you're distributing, especially a state like California, you have to have so many salespeople. So we felt if we had the distribution, it would allow us to, distribute our products, and we can create a profitable entity out of that. So there was a duality to it, but aside from even that, there's so many companies now that are coming to us because they need the distribution. So our goal is really to roll up a lot of these companies and purchase them.
So Nutritional High's got a bit of a horizontal approach towards the entire market now. You're going into distribution, not just creation of edibles.
The distribution is so important, and many states, if you were the manufacturer, you could only sell directly to the dispensary. So California was one of the first to allow distribution licenses, and many other states are looking at it now. So when we saw this, we're like, how could you not go after the distribution? Because that's the power center of it all. And then we can feed our brand and our oils. And people have been really happy with our oil quality and the consistency of everything. And this allows, and it's very important with edibles, because if your oil's no good, there's no consistency with the edibles. And so people really obviously they want a good taste. And so we brought in a few people that have been making chocolates and candies for 25 years. Which you need, but more importantly, you need the consistency. Every time somebody takes a bite of your chocolate, they want to have the same feel.
The same potency.
Same potency, yeah, exactly. The dosage is.
What about the issue? I mean, I find when I eat edibles, depending on my particular body configuration of the day, sometimes it'll come on in 15 minutes and be a full-on heavy body stone. Other times it'll take an hour and a half and it's a completely light poppy and I'm still physically energetic stone. And so how do you modify for that? How do you?
Well, it's a lot. It has to do a lot with the strain, just to start. So even before we, put the flower into our extractor, the strains mean a lot. Obviously, how much you've eaten and everything means a lot. And we kind of looked at Nutritional High.
Have you eaten any today?
I really haven't been blessed, you know.
No quality control. What's
that's
that
it. That's it. You know. But yeah, as far but you know, it's really important when you're doing it the exact dosage, because when you're having these edibles, and I don't know where you had the edibles or where they're from, but a nutritional high, like my goal was, you would go to, let's just take Colorado for example, and they were selling some chocolate bars that were 100 milligrams for a chocolate bar. And people would take a chocolate bar. I would say the average person needs between 5 to 10 milligrams.
We're not going to do an interview after a 100 milligram chocolate bar, guaranteed. It would be like.
So our whole thing was, we wanted to microdose everything, because we, like, if it's in smaller 5 milligram doses, if you really wanted a second one, which you should wait after an hour, or, you know.
Absolutely.
Where, and this is the most important thing, because if people understand the feeling they're going to get, it's a lot easier to upscale than downscale, you know, in that manner. So this is a big part of what we did, and a lot of the states came back and said, you can't have a 100 milligram like piece, you have to have them broken into 10 milligram pieces, some are 5 milligram pieces. So it actually worked with our model, and we were just a year or two earlier on it, but it's really common sense. It goes beyond the, you know.
Okay, let's talk about the revenue picture from the investment perspective. What's going on in terms of your sales? What's your most popular product? What are your margins looking like?
The margins are good. Like on the oil side, the margins have been very good. Edibles are even better. Like our first, when we started, like the first base revenue was Illinois, then Colorado. California, we acquired Calyx, and we're in the process of acquiring, like, we haven't closed the deal, but we're another larger extractor. And we've also have a deal in Nevada. So California was very important, but Nevada's an amazing market, and we could have gone for a license, bought a facility, gone through the whole thing. But we actually, the big part of this, and the big reason why Nutritional High has been successful, is the operations side. It's one thing to say, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. You have the operations people, in like Nevada, the guy was unbelievable. He had like super creative products himself. He was running a profitable entity, and he wanted to expand and build even a bigger one. So it was a perfect kind of fit for Nevada. And this is what we're looking for. We're not looking to, I mean, place our own management in all of it. Obviously, we're going to oversee it, but when there's great management and great people in the industry, part of being successful is acquiring them, because there's a counterculture to all this, and a lot of these people have been around, especially in California, for 15, 20 years. So to go in and think you can do it better than them, we can add to it. You know, we can help fund it in certain levels, and we can bring our oil in that, with most of them, is at a higher quality, but that's kind of the way we're going to, we want to be an add-on and a finance side to these companies, but you want the counterculture, you want these people, and you want them to be part of the team and to grow. Because if not, you have to go get your own guys.
Okay, so how far away is the company from profitability?
You know what, it's similar to when you look at, and I don't want to talk about Canadian companies necessarily, but there's been so much expansion into so many different states in Canada, and you know, truthfully, I believe if you look at each piece of the puzzle, and I kind of look at it state by state, each state, as we kind of went through, within a year we can bring profitability. But as you expand and expand, when you look at the overall numbers, like our goal is, you know, in the next year to be profitable.
Okay,
great. We're looking like 9 to 12 months, and with a lot of the profitable acquisitions made, plus our organic growth, I think it's realistic.
Cool.
You know?
What's the scuttlebutt on the street in California and Illinois and all the places where you are towards a federal deprohibition strategy on the part of the federal government?
Well, if you look at how many states have just turned, even on the medical side, and like we're not just to go into the recreational side, like the medical side, there's many states that are highly profitable and very developed. So it just keeps happening. There's continuously more and more states, and like when you saw even in the last election, there were so many states that went recreational. So it's a very hard thing to judge, but I mean, this is why I think Nutritional High and some of the other Canadian traded US companies are so much undervalued, and I feel there's a huge value play there. And
we'll see when it happens.
We'll see when it happens. You know, like, I mean, it's such a hard thing to, I don't like to guesstimate or you know, give predictions on that, but it's really turning, and you're actually seeing the like, I'll give you an example. In Colorado's kind of a libertarian sort of environment, but at the beginning there was many counties like, we don't want marijuana there, it's no good. Now all the counties want it because there was jobs, real estate increased, taxes, and so they saw there was way less crime, you know what I mean? So they actually saw the benefits of it. So you're seeing actually many people on the Republican side turn and say, we want this.
Right.
Like, I mean, anytime you can bring a job into the United States.
Sure, especially now. Yeah.
Seriously, like it's an amazing thing actually when you see how much tax revenue goes to schools and you know.
Right. Okay. Well, that's an amazing update. It's so great to see you're doing so well, and we look forward to more of your success. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.